as they say, dude. Hey, dude. In a previous life, somebody called me dude, and I hit him with a hammer and a sickle. I went rushing on his ass. Just like I went rushing with this woman one night. I had Roman hands and Russian fingers, yeah. In a previous life, when I was a stud. Now,
in a previous life.
Now I'm just an old fart with nice curly hair. The same big package, but nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. I'm too blunt. I'm too honest.
They don't want the good weed. Nobody wants the sell.
Nobody wants the beef.
They don't want the Glengarry weed.
I thought this was the years where I just kick back and I just throw some beef. I mean, I worked out and getting all this free time. Now I got a whole lot of free time. Got nothing to do with the free time that I got. So in a previous life, when I was on the Titanic and I told the motherfucker, go left, he didn't listen to me. When I was in the movie with the European Vacation and Chevy Chase couldn't get left, I was laughing. But Chevy Chase was not as funny as I was in the movie. Because I was the guy who was making sure Chevy Chase couldn't get left.
In a previous life, on the Under Siege movies,
right?
My dad, who was going to play Steven Seagal, but at last minute had to go do a comedy show, so they put Steven Seagal in.
Right. And he had a black eye because I kicked his ass in fucking rehearsal because he was trying to step on me. If I need to, I got it. Like a panther that I am. Because in a previous life, I stood, watched George Washington go past me, standing up in a fucking boat, and I asked him, why the fuck are you standing up in a boat? And he looked at me and said, nothing's gonna happen to me, and then he fell out of the fucking boat. Now you see, had he not said nothing to me, he might have made it. But since he turned to look at me, his weight shifted, and he fell out of the fucking boat. So in my previous life, I got to see the first president of the United States fall out of the fucking boat, and since then the presidency hasn't been too good anyway. Because no matter what happens, you always got people who don't like what you're doing. So I wouldn't want his fucking job. He can have it. Just make sure I get my check every month because herb is expensive. That's all I can tell you, because in a previous life, I have been the president of many countries. The most fun I ever had was when I was president of Prasanna, which is where all the princesses are. And my first act as king of Prasanna was to abolish clothing. So women were not allowed to wear any apparel of any kind unless they had a bad week. But I had a special house for them, for all the people with a bad week. It was full of alcohol, it was full of pads, it was full of every fucking thing they could use. They had weapons over there, so if they were having a real bad period, they could shoot the shit out of one another and leave me the fuck alone. Because that's the best way to have a period, is away from me. I'm sorry, but I don't do periods. I don't wear the pad. So
he's a tampon person.
I'm glad in my previous life that I've never been having to wear a pad. I'm glad that I might have been Betty White's vagina for a couple of days, but I wasn't a vagina after that. I'll tell you that. I learned my lesson. Yep. But I got it when it was tight.
In the previous life,
when Brett Michaels,
he let the bandit.
When Brett Michaels got it a few weeks ago, it wasn't so tight. She's 93 now. Yeah, what? You mean Smokey and the Bandit, that little fucking pussy?
I said, remember you let him borrow your car?
It was my idea to put a Chevrolet in the fucking movie, and it was also my idea to get somebody with bigger tits than Sally Field. But Sally Field was hot right then. Everybody wanted to see Sally Field do something that wasn't dramatic, where you would cry all the time. So she went and did a fucking funny movie. Did she do a good job? I guess so. because it's a classic movie. But the point is, someone with bigger yammers would have been nicer when she was bending over the seat. Then you just see them big ass fucking tits looking at you. And there's nothing wrong with that, because in every one of my previous lives, I've liked tits. I can't recall any of my previous lives that I did not
Or
like tits.
pussy hair.
Pussy hair can go either way. It depends on who it was. Some of the movie stars that I slept with, if you don't want to shave it, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Just blow
Normally-
me. Just blow me. That's all you got to do is blow me.
Normally-
It's a simple fucking program.
He don't like no hair.
I don't have to. Why do I have to have the hair? If I order a hamburger and it comes back with a hair in it, I'm gonna send the motherfucker back. But here, stick your face where I pee, and I have a beard there. Why? 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 Why would you want someone to stick your face in a bunch of hair? Because it could get confusing. If I move a half an inch further down, I could be licking your butt and your fucking hairy anus,
Which would
because hair would taste like hair until I got a little crunchy in there. If there's something was hanging in there, like a fucking nugget, a cashew nugget or
Peanut.
something, a peanut, whatever the fuck was hanging there. I'm not gonna chew on it. I'll just start poking fingers and getting this shit away from me. If I poke you in the right fucking spot, you'll move. I ain't never poked nobody in the ass yet that didn't react to it. Well, my grandmother, but she was dead.
But, you know, you did get her over her walker.
She was dead. No, the last time I poked her in the ass, she was dead.
Yeah.
That was that last pinch. What the fuck? It's rigor mortis. Anyway, nobody likes me anyway, so that's good. Some think I'm funny. Many will probably delete me after this, and then they'll add me again under a different fucking name just so they can see what the hell I'm doing. I don't really
Just
care.
to see what we're going to do next.
We could have been smoking tobacco. We could have been just faking all this. If the people think I'm a faker, then that's fine. But it's 420, and enjoy your buzz, because we have. And I have more previous life stories because I've led a million lives. We just cut the surface tonight. In one of my previous lives, I kicked the shit out of Charles Manson. That was one of my best previous lives because I only needed about 6 seconds to be in that previous life. That's why he doesn't hear too well, because I slammed his fucking head against the bars a couple times. And that still wouldn't be enough for that piece of maggot shit. Now, there's a lot of fucktards out there that like to blow people up with bombs and shit and they're real fucking tough guys, or take aircraft into fucking buildings and kill a bunch of innocent people. So, my humor ain't for everybody, but the same token, with all this shit going on, you gotta give me credit for being fucking funny.
In a previous life, he was John Holmes' dick.
In the previous life, I was the only part of him that had any sense, because the rest of him wasn't much of a thinker. Now, towards the tail end of his career, I was no longer his dick, because he liked to poke it in brown eyes of male species, because no one would hire him to do anything else. Sad but true how too much pussy can make a motherfucker crazy. So, he died at a young age, but he died from what he did. Now, I don't see me dying from anything that I'm going to do, because I'm going to die anyway. At least I get to pick what the fuck I'm going to do. Did I mention that in a previous life I got a new hat? Got a new hat. Got a new hat. Still got some hair.
How about that?
Still got some hair and my new hat. And my new hat, and my new hat, and my new hat. It's 420. Da 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 da. Wah wah. I'm a sick bastard. Make sure you tune in and listen to more of my crap. On that happy note, my son will turn off the camera while I initiate like I'm jerking off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nobody eats until fucking 6. You gonna shut off the camera?
You gonna start jerking off?
I don't have a remote. I'm pressing. It's
You
still
said you're
on. Well, I could be doing that. Did you want to watch me, son? Come on, it's all in the technique. You'll figure it out.
But you ain't dead yet.
Yeah, well, turn off the fucking music when I am. 420 rocks. So do I.